just need to go live everywhere else. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring you up. Give me 1 second. It's Kay. Hey Kayla, what's up? I do got a hard stop tonight. It's gonna be at about 7:45, Kay. Because me and wifey is going out tonight, so about 7:45 I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here.
When you stopping?
Say that again.
Oh, when are you stopping?
About 7:45.
I said, when are you stopping? Okay. So like an hour and a half.
Yeah, like an hour and a half. Then we're gonna go ahead and get up on out of here. Hey, Child Free over in the YouTube. What's going on, Child Free? What's going on? I don't know.
Wait, is that the same Child Free from CH?
Yes, that's the same Child Free from CH. She's in my YouTube.
Hey, Child Free sister. I miss you, girl.
Yeah, we're in a Instagram group chat. I gotta add you in there.
I miss you, bitch. What's good?
Oh, bad. But let's go ahead and start tapping that screen, y'all. Start liking the live, because we're gonna go ahead and get those comments going. I said get the comments. We're gonna go ahead and get the live going. And we're going to go ahead and try to get out of here at a proper time, because, of course, I need to get out of here. And y'all know how wifey be. She come around, rub my head, and it's time to go. Once you do that, it's time to go.
Typical man.
Mm-hmm.
I digress.
I know. Hey, Child Free said, what's up? She said, what's up to you as well? She said, what's up? How's it going? It has been a while since we all been on the Clubhouse, hasn't it? What I want to do one day, because I'm gonna do these
all together. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, because I would only go on there for like a few seconds and then get off. But I don't be on there like actively like that anymore.
Yeah, because I don't be on the anymore at all either. But I have Club Deck, and using this TikTok and then using Club Deck, I might be able to stream on there too, you know what I mean? So that'll be dope if we could do that. Yeah. All right, we do have Dean Flo on in the building. Dean Flo, how's it going? Are you at least 18? And did you want to talk about number 1 or number 2?
Hey, what's up, brother? Yeah, I'm over 18. I'm 24, and I'd like to talk about number 2. Have a conversation on that. I'm a Muslim personally.
Cool. What do you think is a good reason for us to believe in a God, or even accept that Muhammad was a actual magical prophet?
Okay, just need to understand, are you agnostic, or you take a position of not knowing, or are you an atheist where you're affirming that God doesn't exist?
I'm an agnostic atheist.
Okay, so you don't believe in a God right now because you have no real tangible reason to?
Correct.
Okay. So I don't believe that logically, even before I establish, Islam to be the truth, I don't think logically that something can come out of nothing, right? To take the position that all this came to be by some random mathematical, big incidents is to say that, something came out of nothing. Had to start with something.
I'm like, that's not what we're saying at all. But I do want to address this. Y'all do think something comes out of nothing. No, you actually do. Because if Islam is, has anything closer to the creation story in the Bible, y'all literally do think something came out of nothing.
No, I'm not a Christian. I don't follow the Bible.
No, I said, no, I understand. I said, if the creation story within the Bible is even similar to that of to the Quran, then y'all do believe something came out of nothing. Because I do know that there are similarities and differences between the Abrahamic religions, but
can you elaborate a little more?
Well, I was gonna say the same thing. Well, number one, when it comes to the Big Bang and stuff like that, right? That doesn't mean that something came from nothing. It doesn't mean that at all. What it means is that universe expanded from a hot dense state, and hot dense state is definitely not nothing. The singularity is not nothing. It's something. We just can't explain it with our current model of physics. So nothing cannot exist, right? Because once you're able to detect the nothing, what does it become? it becomes a something. So nothingness is not a thing. It doesn't exist. But what to Kay's point, what she was saying, what I agree with, is that if the creation story in Islam is similar to the creation story in the Bible, which is what I understand it to be, where God simply said, "Let there be light," or created everything out of his will, then that's literally something coming from nothing.
Also,
when
you're
presupposing that God is
so I was
nothing
going
in
to
the
make that
first
point
place.
too, real bad kitty. In the comments, y'all believe in God, and and y'all don't believe God came from something.
Yeah. So the problem with that is that you would have an infinite regression of being sourced, right? If you say that God came from nothing, this is because he's eternal, right? He doesn't need a source outside of himself.
So you do it. So you admit that something can come from nothing. So that's what you believe,
sister. Can I just finish? Thank you. So to say that God comes from nothing, right, is to say that basically he existed forever, eternally, that he doesn't need to rely on a source outside of himself to be generated, right? The problem with this is that if you say, well, there's always something that it's all going back to cause and effect, you would have a problem of infinite regression. Where does it stop, right? And it's necessary to get to a point where there's this being who's all powerful, who doesn't need to rely on any source outside of himself to be created. So when we say God creates, right, something is coming out of something. God is creating something. It's not that God is nothing.
But you're still having a problem here. Number one, the infinite regress still applies to God. That's number one. And number two, hold on, because you just said that God is eternal. That's an infinite regress. That means if he exists eternally in the past and eternally in the future. That's an infinite regress. But hold on. The second thing that I would say is what you said can actually apply to the universe as well. I can also say that the universe has always existed, or energy has always existed. You see what I'm saying? That those things are eternal. I could say that even time is eternal. It always existed. It's just we're in a certain point along that infinite line. You see what I'm saying? I can say the same exact thing for energy, for time, and the universe. Or I can say the same thing for space. Space could be eternal. You see what I mean? But the other thing that I would say is that was it. Everything that all your criticisms apply to your God as well. But go ahead, add on to that, Kate, because I think I was thinking of something. I forgot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, even the idea that he thinks that like if the creation story, because that's why I brought that up earlier, because he's trying to say, well, it came from God, so it came from something, but that is not what the creation story implies. It literally, in the scripture, in the Bible, and I don't know if it's similar or the same again, I know there's similarities and differences because Abrahamic, right? But one of the things I do know is that within the biblical version, they literally say that something came from nothing because they say that it was all dark, and then light came from God saying that there was light. So something did come from nothing. Yeah, even within that story, this proves that point.
Again, when you guys are doing an internal critique on the position that theists take, right? We don't believe that God is nothing. You're presupposing God is nothing, and that when he creates something and that something is coming out of him. So when you take this position of
actually, Dean, I'm sorry, Dean. You pause real quick. I think you misunderstand our position. We're not saying that God is nothing. We didn't say that. We're saying that if God simply creates, I'm going to ask you a simple question: what did he create it out of? And if you're going to say his will, then that presupposes, or that supposes, that God simply created things out of nothing. If you're going to say that it came from his will. Yeah, I'm saying so. That's nothing.
Yeah, but it also in the Bible. But Scripture also doesn't say that it came from His will. It says it came out of nothing.
Well, where does it say that?
What it implies.
Can you show me a reference?
So in the biblical version.
Yeah, I'm not. You keep bringing up the Bible, sister.
Because that is the reference I have.
Okay, perfect. So
that's why
you can't criticize me based on the position that Christians take. You need to understand my
because I said multiple times, right, that I am not sure what similarities and what differences exist between the Bible and the Quran. But I do know that there are similarities because they all fall under the same Abrahamic religions. But I know that there are differences and similar. For example, Christians believe that Jesus was the Son of God, and I know Muslims believe that he was a prophet. I understand that there are differences, but there are also similarities between the certain stories within the Bible and the Quran. I already said that I do not know which ones are which. So I'm going based off of what I know and seeing if it applies to the Quran because I am actually not sure because I didn't come from Islam. I came from being a Christian before becoming an atheist.
Okay.
However,
I was gonna say let's go ahead and get that cleared up so we can understand, because I just did a quick Google search and it seems very similar where Allah created the universe in 6 stages, and over in the Bible it's just 6 days. You know what I mean? So it seems very similar.
There are similarities.
Yeah, there are similarities. So let's clear it up. In the Quran, Dean, does it say that God made the universe out of pre-existing material, or did it say that he just made the universe with a pen or something like that?
Yeah. He created the universe through his abilities, whether it's knowledge, whether it's because he's the creator. There's certain attributes that God has. So, for example, like the will, yes, or one of the ways he creates is through his will. He lets things be, right? So when you say exactly, this is what I was trying to point out here. Nothing is the lack of everything. So will is not the lack of everything. You have will. Will is not nothing.
You're presupposing will.
Are you saying will is nothing?
All right, but will is just what I'm saying, Dean, is that will is just a description that we put onto our agency. Like, for example, I have a will, right? And when I say I have a will, that means that I can pick up this hat and move it around. I did that with my will because I'm an agent and I have choices in order to move around. So here, this is my will doing this, moving the hat around. That's a will.
It does not disprove that God made something out of nothing.
Right. So when we say that God made things out of his will, what exactly does that mean? Because your will doesn't, your will is only your agency, your ability to move around and change things. Did he grab material and then make the universe? Or did he just stand there and said, all right, things exist now, and then boom, it popped into existence?
That's literally out of nothing. There's light.
So for example, there's a verse in the Quran where it talks about the creation of Adam. It says, "Inna mathala Isa 'inda Allahi kamathali Adam." The likeness of Jesus is like that of Adam. خلقه من تراب. He created him from dust. ثم قال له كن فيكون. And then he said, be, and he was. So it's a combination of multiple things. It's that one, there are materialistic things involved, but those materialistic things within themselves come into existence through the will of God. And then when he was putting that spirit into the flesh of Adam, he used his speech, his command.
Okay,
he commanded that spirit to come into existence.
I got you. We understand the human creation part, right? The human creation part, making humans out of dirt, that's pre-existing material. So that's all good and well. We're talking about the actual universe, actual existence. What did he made it out of? Because your will is just your agency.
Well, when you say the dust or the clay or whatever is pre-existent, do you mean that it was eternal and it was always there?
No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that dirt is there, right? So Allah, if he exists,
where did it come from?
Right, that's what we're asking. Where did the dirt come from?
Yeah, I said it came from God. That's my whole point.
Right, it came from God, but what did he make the dirt out of? What did he made it out of?
Through his will.
So he made it out of nothing.
I'm like that. So out of nothing.
It came from him. He's out of nothing. Not his.
Okay, it came out of nothing.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. So
nothing.
So it came out of him. So hold on. So God went into his room. He turned on only gods. He looked up Aphrodite and went into the bathroom and rubbed one out real quick, and that's how we got dirt in the universe. When you say it came from him,
so gross. That is so gross, folks.
Yeah. So will, right? There's two categories you can actually divide God's attribute to. One, it's the ability, and the other one is the instance. So the abilities that he always has, these abilities eternal are intrinsic to him. But the moment, for example, that he creates are temporal. Even though God himself is not temporal, he's not held by time and space. So when he is when he's basically exercising these abilities, for example, creation, this is within time.
Okay, this doesn't
So
actually answer my question, bro. What I'm asking is that the for dirt and for stars and all that to come into existence, did God get pre-existing material, or did he say it's going to be and then it was? Which one is it?
Yeah, that material itself stems from him, and he is not nothing. That's the whole point.
Okay, so the material stems from him. So okay, so cool. So he went into the bathroom, looked into only gods, and then he rubbed one out.
He used his will.
He used his will.
You're being. I understand.
I'm being facetious. I'm being facetious.
Brother. I understand you're trying to be a comedian for your audience.
I'm being facetious.
I'm
sorry. I'm pause, guys. Yeah, I'm being facetious. I understand it. I'm being facetious. But do you have to understand where I'm coming from here? Will is only your ability to move. That's really all will is, right? Your ability to move.
Is it abstract or within reality?
Hold on. Your will is simply your ability to move around, to do things. That's all will is, right? If I sleep, I'm not using my will for anything, right? So will is just your ability to move around. You have to actually use your will to impose on something else in order for something to happen. If you're saying that God, that all the stars and all the materials in the universe simply came out of God, basically, I'm not going to do the joke again, but if it simply came out of God, that means that he just stood there, said it's going to be, and boom, it was, and it came out of him. Is that what you're saying?
Literally.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right, cool. So it's made out of pre-existing material, and that pre-existing material is the spiritual nature of God himself. So what is God made out of?
There's nothing onto him that's comparable. You can say flesh, we can say spirits, but the Quran says there's nothing onto him that's comparable. So I'm not here to make assumptions about something that God didn't, tell me. I only take the position of what Allah tells me, and he tells me there is nothing that you can conceive with your limited mind that would do him justice, right?
All right, so there's something that you can conceive with your limited mind that can do him justice then?
That's literally
all right, so you can't.
Can I ask you a question, host?
Hold on,
there's nothing.
Hold on, wait. So we can't conceive it, but you somehow know what it was, what he did.
What do you mean?
You don't see the issue there? You said that we cannot conceive what God does, but you also knew what he did.
No. I didn't say what God does. You asked.
Oh, what's God is made out of? You're right. I'm sorry. I apologize. We can't conceive what God is made out of, but you can conceive of what he does from the stuff that he is made out of.
Yeah, through the revelation that he gave to us, yes.
The revelation that he gave to
you. No, you can't, because you said that God is above your comprehension.
Right. So is God above our comprehension, or is he
again,
not? That's what I want to know.
Can I help this guy out? Because you guys seem to be drilling him.
No. It's fine. We don't want to drill him. We just want to understand.
No. It's fine. It's a good conversation. I don't mind.
We're actually out of time, Dean, because I got a hard stop. But Dean, do me a favor.
Yeah. No worries,
tomorrow is Saturday. Come back tomorrow, okay? I'll drop me a follow. You can unfollow if you want after we talk tomorrow. But come tomorrow, we'll have a longer conversation. Only reason I'm ending early with you is because I gotta leave here pretty early. So come back tomorrow. Okay,
that's fine.
All right. Yeah, drop me a follow and come back tomorrow. All right, no problem. Take care. All right, guys. Like I said, I do got to do a hard stop on everybody. What's his name? The person that just came up. Oh, what happened to mobile gaming? Mobile gaming, come back up when you can.
Drop him.
Okay, yeah, I didn't drop him. But all right, so Clippy, how's it going, Clippy?
Going well.
All right, are you at least 18? And did you want to talk about number 1 or number 2?
I am. I'm not. I'm 19.
19. Right.
I'll go with number 2 because it was already talked about, and I got a lot to say about it.
All right, cool. Why do you think we should believe in a God?
Okay. Well, the first thing I'll say, can I just respond quickly to what you said before? Or are we bringing in a new argument?
Yeah, whatever. I don't know if you're a Christian or anything like that. What if you have?
Well, I'm Christian.
You're Christian. Okay, cool. We can go off of that. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, the first thing I'll say on is I know a lot of the questions you're already about to ask me, considering how the conversation went with the last person. So what I'll start off with is there's a difference between a secondary understanding in God and a primary understanding in God. Mm-hmm. So a primary understanding in God is what we call natural theology, and a secondary understanding in God would be like the Christian theology. So the primary understanding of God is the logical reasonings of why God must exist. And then the secondary understanding of God is how God exists, like the nature of what God is. And that ties into Christian theology because they make claims about what God is, right? So the first thing I'll say is I'll give a couple of examples of primary understandings of God where logic and reasoning and rational thinking proves to the existence of a God. So the first thing I'll say is the cosmological arguments. So first of all,
everything that begins to exist has a cause.
No, that's the Kalam cosmological argument. That's part of it. But the main thing I'll say here is in cosmology, what we understand about cosmology is one, that the Big Bang is the leading theory of the explanation for the origin and the existence of the universe. And also that certain theories, as in the steady state theory and infinite universe theories, have been proven wrong, mainly the steady state theory, because we understand that the universe has changed. So if we assume the Big Bang, then there's numerous examples of logical arguments for why God must exist. One of them is the cosmological, Kalam cosmological argument. Another one is the Leibnizian principle of sufficient reasoning.
I don't know what that second one is, but there's an issue with that first one with the Kalam, right? Because all it gets you is to a cause to the universe. It doesn't tell you what the cause is. It doesn't necessarily have to be a God, or it could be a natural process that we don't understand. But the second one, I never even heard of it. What does that even mean? Okay, I'll explain. So the Leibnizian principle of sufficient reasoning, which was built on by Immanuel Kant, has to say that the universe, the physical universe itself is contingent, which means it did not have to exist. It could have been arranged differently. It did not have to exist in the way it does now. And so it builds on the Kalam cosmological argument by saying that this physical universe, which is contingent, must come from a necessary being. Why? Because it's based on the principle of sufficient reasoning. Because if a contingent thing comes from another contingent thing, there will be an infinite regress of explanations. So? Do you understand? So there cannot be an infinite regress of explanations. Why not? Because time is finite. How do you know that? I know that time is finite. Well, I'll explain. So what I was saying before about the steady state theory and infinite universe theories is that our understanding of infinite time would be one of mathematical infinity, not possible infinity. So the reason that infinite universe theories have been proven wrong is because they separate mathematical infinity from possible infinity. Wait, hold on. How are infinite universes proven wrong? You've been to another universe? No, I'm saying the theory that the universe is infinite is proven wrong. How do you know that? We haven't been to infinite universes. We haven't been to this one. I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm saying not that there is an infinite amount of universes. I'm saying that our universe is infinitely long. Okay. Infinite. Like, so you say our universe has a finite hard edge. Well, I wouldn't know how to answer that. Honestly, I would not know how to answer that. But I know that from our scientific knowledge, the universe is not infinitely long. That's been proven from our scientific knowledge. From our scientific knowledge, our knowledge says that the universe may in fact be infinite. Our scientific knowledge proves that the universe is not in the steady state theory, which was the leading infinite universe theory. What do you mean the steady state theory? Like it never changes? It changes. Yeah. It definitely changes, but that doesn't mean that it's not like infinite. We'll never get to the end of it. Right. So what I'm explaining is you say, why does the necessary being have to come out of a contingent thing? Right? How do we even know the universe is contingent? We know the universe is contingent because it did not have to exist in the way it does now. That doesn't mean it's contingent. That's the definition of contingent. Like, hold on. It didn't have to exist the way it did now. Therefore, it depended on something else. That doesn't make sense. I'm explaining that everything in our universe is contingent on another thing. And so that doesn't mean that our universe is contingent on another thing. We have no idea of what our universe even originated from. It 100% does, because if each thing in the universe is contingent, then so let's say that there's a cup on the table, right? The cup is on the table is contingent on the fact that I put the cup on the table. Maybe I'm not understanding contingency. Let me Google this. Let me see if I understand. It depends on specific conditions or events in order to happen. Yeah. So we don't know. So you saying that our universe is contingent on something, right? All of it is contingent on is whatever the whatever the hot dense state was, whatever the singularity was. That's the only thing it's contingent on. But that doesn't mean that therefore there was some
no. The hot dense
creator for it.
The hot dense state is also contingent. That's what I'm trying to explain.
How do you know that? Because even scientists don't know that.
But the scientists do not know that, but the philosophers do. They accept the Leibnizian principle of sufficient reason. Because
so what did the philosophers do to prove? Hold on, what do philosophers do in order to prove that? Because the hot dense state has nothing to do with philosophy. It's a point of physics that breaks down. We don't understand what's going on there yet.
Philosophers use logic. They lose logic and rationalism.
But that doesn't prove anything. That's what I'm saying. Like, what does that actually prove? Like, what I'm saying is that, I mean, they can come up with a whole bunch of conjectures, but it wouldn't actually show anything. You will need to demonstrate something at a certain point. Because all I can say is that Arceus is the hot dense state, and through logic and reasoning, it's Arceus, the Pokemon. And are you going to worship Arceus tomorrow? You're not. So it's like, what do we do?
No, what I'm trying to explain here. This is why in the beginning of my talk, I separated natural theology from Christian divinity and Christian theology. So what I'm trying to explain is that what you're talking about is a secondary reasoning. You're trying to say, oh, all they've proved is that this, and that, and the third. They haven't proved God. And what I'm trying to explain to you is that your understanding of God is a little bit different from what these philosophers are talking about. What I'm talking about is the primary understanding of God, or that God must exist as a first cause, as a necessary being.
Right.
Everything after that is secondary understanding.
Right. But the thing is, what I'm saying is that all you're saying simply is asserting that God is necessary. You haven't demonstrated that to be the case yet. We're just asserting it. I can simply say that Arceus is necessary. And what will be the difference between my claim and your claim?
I 100% have demonstrated it. I've explained how the physical universe is contingent. It is a contingent thing, and that each event in the universe is contingent. And if
each event in the universe is contingent on the expansion of the universe, which came from the hot dense state. The hot dense state, we have no idea what that was. So how do we show that it was contingent, or that it was created, or it came from a god? We have no idea what it even was. So now you're saying that the philosophers know what it is because they just say so. And trust me, bro, I could just say Arceus or Oldemare. What will be the difference?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that each event in history, each event in our understanding of the physical universe is contingent on the hot dense state. I'm saying that each event in the universe is contingent on the thing that happened before it. And if each
hot dense state
event in the no, because the hot dense state was not the first thing that came before it. I'm saying if I put a cup
so you know what came before the hot dense state then?
No, bro, let me explain. If I put a cup on the table, this is what I'm trying to explain.
I understand all that.
I'm asking you a specific question.
I'm just asking you a specific question. Do you know what came before the hot dense state?
No.
Okay.
Define what you mean by no.
So if you don't know what came before the hot dense state, how can you then claim that the hot dense state was contingent on something before it? We have no idea if that's true.
Because everything in our physical universe is contingent. That's what I'm trying to explain.
I get everything in our physical universe is contingent. I'm not disagreeing with that.
What I'm saying is that part of our physical universe.
I don't know. That's the thing. Our understanding of physics, time, and space, it breaks down at that point. So we're not even sure what it is.
You're appealing to ignorance. That's not what I'm trying to say.
I'm not appealing to ignorance. I'm telling you the truth. We don't know what that is.
Okay, we don't know what it is physically, but we understand the logic that came behind its existence.
No, you don't. If you don't know what it is, how can you understand what the logic that came behind it? If you don't even know what the hell it is.
Because it's a logic that applies to everything in our universe logically.
Within our universe, with the hot dense state, we don't even know what it is. So how can you say that we can explain it logically with things in our universe? We don't even know what it is.
Okay, I'll explain. Because what I'm trying to explain is not what you're trying to ask me, right? We're kind of talking about two different topics here. You're saying that we don't know enough about the hot dense state itself to say that part is contingent. And what I'm trying to explain is definitionally, if you agree that the hot dense state is part of our physical universe, then it is contingent based on the logic that all physical things are contingent on the thing before it. And if you agree that all physical things are contingent on the thing that happened exactly before it, then unless you accept an infinite regress of explanations, there must be a necessary being, which is identified as God. So that's what I'm trying to explain.
What I'm trying to say is that even if I give that all to you, it doesn't lead us to a necessary being at all. It could still just lead us to a natural process that we don't understand yet.
Okay, but again, this is the appeal to ignorance. You're not.
No, it's not.
Yes, yes, 100% is, because you're not proving anything I'm saying is wrong. You're just saying that there may
I'm
be something in
saying
the
that
future
there are
that
other
proves me wrong.
explanations. Your explanation doesn't have to be the one, and you know that too.
No, what you're saying is there's something in the future that might prove me wrong. That's your whole argument.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I'm not saying that you might prove wrong. I'm saying that you haven't even demonstrated your case. You simply asserted that it has to be a necessary being, and I'm bringing you another explanation that it could be that explains it just as well. How do you parse out the difference between me and you? We would need evidence, right? And neither of us have that at this point. So you just can't say yours is right and mine is wrong.
Can you explain? Wait. Can you explain your entire belief is? Well, your entire argument, from what I've understood, is we don't know enough about the hot dense state. Can you explain actually what your argument is then? Because you're not proving anything by saying that.
Again, neither are you. You're simply asserting that that it was a necessary being. And I'm saying that how can you assert that and not demonstrate it? And you said it was logically is contingent. I said, okay, what's the difference between it being a necessary being and a natural process that we don't understand? Which one does the evidence show? And right now we have no evidence for either of those things. So how can you make your claim?
Because I'm explaining that the logic follows whether or not we know the scientific properties of the hot dense state.
But again, Z, I said again, Z, what I'm saying is that even if I follow your logic and I accept it, the ending of the logic can still be a natural process that we simply don't understand. It doesn't necessarily have to be a being. It doesn't. You're simply asserting one.
Again, so you're proving my point that your entire argument is there might be something in the future that we learn that proves
That's
me wrong.
not what I said. Again, you're claiming
that there might be a natural process that proves
that
me wrong.
we don't understand yet. But you're simply but you're saying that it has to be a being, but you haven't demonstrated that. You're simply but you're saying that it has to be a being, but you haven't demonstrated that. You haven't given any evidence for that.
Okay, and do we make claims based on the evidence we have right now? Yes.
Of course, we a lot of most things, yes.
Okay, so if you were to say that, for example, humans, actually, I'm not even going to go into that because that's a whole different, weird and metaphorical shit that I don't want to go into. We make claims based on the evidence we have right now. So your argument that there might be something to prove me wrong in the future is moot because we make claims based on what we know right now.
Right, and we don't have any evidence for a being right now. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't. We have no evidence for a supernatural being. No, we don't. You're simply asserting one.
Okay,
can I give you one more and putting it on something that could be a natural process.
I only have a minute 40. Can I ask you 3 questions?
To demonstrate that a God exists.
All right, Z. What I'm saying is conjectural arguments. Evidence is something that's demonstrable and demonstrable. We just can't say that because the hot dense state was contingent, therefore a being outside of space and time. That's not evidence, bro. That's just an assertion.
Okay, I have a minute. Can I ask you 3 questions?
Go ahead.
Okay. Does one perfection necessarily contradict another?
I have no idea what perfection is. What do you mean by that?
You have no idea what perfection is?
What is perfect?
Absent wrong.
Absent wrong. So does one perfection negate another perfection? Does one wrong negate another wrong? No. Wrong?
Does one perfection contradict another? So for example, if I'm perfect at playing soccer, does that contradict the fact that I could be perfect at playing basketball?
No.
No. Okay, so one perfection does not contradict another, right? That's what you just said?
Again, I'm not sure how you're even defining perfect.
Okay, but whatever. We'll move on. So if one perfection does not contradict another perfection, could it be plausible that one being would have all perfections?
I don't know.
Well, you just hold on. I said, is it plausible that if one perfection
that being exists? You're presupposing a being.
I'll explain. That's the third question. You're yelling at me.
No. It's a loaded question because your question implies the being exists in the first place.
No, it doesn't. I'm saying, is it plausible that the being could exist?
It does.
No, so it implying that the being exists in the first place.
How does that? What I'm saying, if one perfection does not contradict another perfection, is it plausible that a being could exist that contains all perfections?
I don't know.
That is,
you're saying I don't know. It logically follows that a being can contain all perfections if one doesn't inherently contradict another.
No, it doesn't.
But you're presupposing a being.
I'm not presupposing the being.
No.
You don't understand logical steps.
No, it doesn't. Because what does perfection even mean? Again, you're simply saying one perfection doesn't contradict another perfection. What does that mean?
You're appealing to the ignorance.
I'm not appealing to ignorance. I'm asking you, what does that mean?
No, you're appealing to ignorance.
that you do not contain a wrong in a certain.
You do not contain a wrong. Okay, so someone
I'm like, so you're Christian, right? So you believe God is all perfection. Then hold on. Then explain him regretting the flood of Noah.
No, that's nothing to do with what we're talking about right now.
No, it does. Because
it does.
Still asking my questions.
No, it actually does.
All right, time's up.
Because a perfect being doesn't make mistakes.
We're gonna move on. Time's up. All right, guys. There is 2 questions on the board. There's number 1 and number 2.
You know he was gonna try to get around that.
Can I say 2?
All right.
Can I explain 2?
Hold on for me, please. All right, guys. Go ahead and keep liking.
Introduce you, Green.
I got you. We're gonna introduce you, Green. I don't know what happened to the other guy, but he could come back up if he wants. All right, guys. Keep liking the live and keep sharing it. I do have Ryan.
Keep on liking the live, share.
Live and share. I do have Ryan
share
over
the live, like the live.
Hold on. I do have Ryan over on my StreamYard. Ryan, we're gonna talk to you in a moment. We're gonna talk to Green first. There's 2 questions on the board, y'all. This doesn't have to be a completely God live because that's not what I want it to be. So there's 2 questions on the board. And if you want to talk about anything we have on the board, go ahead and like the live, share it. I appreciate y'all. Positive energy. You can come up whenever you like. Over on my YouTube, I see that Gran and Danny are both crashing out in the comments. So there is a link, y'all, for you guys to join.
What are they saying in the comments?
They're in my YouTube comments. Either they're calling me stupid, or they're saying that leftism is a cancer, whatever. I'm not reading it. Anyway, guys, the link is right here. Tiny.cc.
Tell them to click the link if they want to talk to that.
Tiny.cc/Volsy Live. You can go ahead and come up. Over on the Deconstruction Junction, same thing. Tiny.cc/Volsy Live. Number 1 or number 2. Ryan, be patient for me. I'll get to you in a second. Right now, we're gonna talk to Green. Green, how's it going? Are you at least 18? And did you want to talk about number 1 or number 2?
Number 2.
All right. Why should I believe in a God?
Because he's real.
How do you know that?
I'm a walking testimony.
Prove it.
In 92,
testimony's not evidence.
In 92, my homeboy threw battery acid in my face. My face is clear as yours.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we don't accept testimony as evidence. When we ask for evidence, we're talking about demonstrable evidence. So so can you turn on your camera and show a God? What demonstrable evidence do you have? Your testimony does not qualify as evidence here, because anyone can make a testimony. Right. You can't prove right or wrong.
Right. So Green, here's the issue, right? Number 1, I'm glad that you're still with us and you haven't been hurt badly by the battery acid being thrown in your face, right? I'm glad that you're still with us and you're not hurt and you're alive, right? Here's the thing. You surviving that, right? That doesn't necessarily prove that a God exists, even though that we're happy that you survived. That doesn't. Hold on, Green. That doesn't mean that a God exists, right? Because you can have testimony of that, but there are also people who have testimony of Hindu gods. People have testimony of Islam. One of our greatest leaders, Malcolm X, was a Muslim, and he had testimony of that too. You know what I mean? Does that mean that Islam is correct? Are you going to turn to Islam? You're probably not. So that's what I'm saying. That we need more than simply. Hold on, Green. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. We need more than simply this is my testimony, right? What we need is we need something that's demonstrable, demonstratable. How can we show that this God exists? I don't mind that you believe in it. That's fine. But how can you show it to me that it's real?
He's not here. He haven't been here.
Can I give you structural evidence?
He has not been here for 2,000 years. There is no power. If a preacher or a Hindu god tell you they healed somebody, they're lying. If somebody told you God said do this, they're lying. God hasn't been here since Jesus.
Okay, so Green. So Green, here's the problem. Green, here's the problem.
I can only tell you what I've been through.
I got you, Green. Hold on. Here's the problem. You're simply saying that Jesus hasn't been here for 2,000 years. Neither has Julius Caesar. Hold on. Listen to him. Listen to my question. Listen to what I'm saying to you. I understand that Jesus hasn't been here for 2,000 years. Neither has Julius Caesar. but you don't praise Julius Caesar as a god. Him not being here for 2,000 years doesn't prove anything. But secondly, yes, you can't simply can't claim that, you know, other religions claiming that they've healed people are all liars. That simply just means, oh, those guys. Hold on, Green. You gotta calm down, bro. Listen to me. I understand that you think that they're liars, but they can also say, Green, come on, man. Let's have a conversation, please.
And if you keep on coming off of me, I'm just gonna have to drop you, Green. Like,
Green, come on, we gotta have a conversation, man. All right, so I understand that you think those people are liars. They can also say that your God is a liar. How does someone like me, who doesn't believe in any of you, to be right, how do any of you show that you're the right one? What do you need to do to show that you're the right one? Because this person is saying that he heals people, you're saying that your God heals people. Which one of you are correct? And how will we know? How do we put that to the test? What do we do? You can come off mute now, Green.
Okay, check this out.
That was an accident. I was trying to send you an unmute request. Sorry, Green.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Z, it's not your turn. We're gonna talk to
not your turn, Z.
All right, Green.
Green.
Sorry, apologize for that. Go ahead.
Okay, I know what y'all saying. It hasn't been no evidence of a God. I know people have died looking for this God that people looking for. Ain't nobody seen him. Who seen God and live? There is no God. Where is God at? All the deaths, all the wars, all the AIDS, all the cancer. Okay, heal cancer. Who gonna heal cancer? Who gonna heal AIDS? The new one, Ebola. What preacher, what Christian, what religious group can heal Ebola? Not one. Now, what I'm telling you is that I can only tell you where I've been, where I done been in. I know you don't believe. Hell, I ain't believe. If I didn't see what I saw, I wouldn't believe. What I'm gonna believe in this God for? If my granny died of cancer, my auntie died of cancer, my other auntie died of cancer, another auntie died of cancer, another auntie died of brain hemorrhage. What a God at? But what I seen when I went to prison in 2002, I was on an ID unit in April of 2002, and I killed the dude in the field squad. He tried to hit me in the head with an Aggie.
All right, sorry to put you on
mute again, Green, because
yeah. So Green, the reason I had to
really sensitive.
Excuse me, this guy's kind of off topic.
Hey, Ryan, it's not your turn yet. You gotta wait. All right, so Green, the reason why I put you on mute is because you want to get into testimony. I don't mean to be rude, but we don't really care about that, bro. What we need to. All right, he left. All right, cool. We're gonna go ahead and shit. All right, there he is.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna talk to Ryan over on the StreamYard. Ryan, how's it going? And Ryan, Z, you're gonna be right after Ryan. All right, Ryan, are you at least 18? And did you want to talk about number 1 or number 2?
So number 2. So I'm an Orthodox Christian, and so yeah, I believe in the Trinity, the essence energy distinction. And the reason, the proposition I want to propose to you is that you can't have knowledge through a purely materialistic worldview, right?
Why not?
I'm assuming that you're an atheist, right?
Okay, hold on, Ryan. Why not?
But wait, let me clarify. Are you an atheist or an agnostic?
I'm an agnostic atheist. The question is, why not?
Okay.
Are you pulling up a script or something? Why not? Why can't I have knowledge?
Yeah.
Laws of, like, for example, do you believe in the law of non-contradiction?
Like logical laws? Yeah. The laws of logic are descriptions of our universe.
Okay, wait. But do you know what the law of non-contradiction is?
I know what it is, Ryan. What I'm saying, I just told you the laws of logic are
no, the law of non-contradiction.
I
Can you
know
describe it to me?
The law of non-contradiction is one of the laws of logic.
Ryan, what is it?
Ryan,
I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
I know what it is. We're gonna move on. What I'm trying to say is, Ryan. The laws of logic are descriptions of our universe. That's all they are. How does it show that a God exists?
Okay, so if they are descriptions of a universe, that's a presumption. That's saying that they're not materialistic.
They're not.
As an atheist, you believe only things that are material. So you're conceding that something exists that's immaterial in our universe.
No, that's not what I said. Well, what I'm saying is that descriptive things are descriptions. Basically, we look at out in the universe and we say, how do we describe this? And we say, okay, things don't. What do you look at the universe that tells you logic? Things don't. What do you mean? Okay.
You're saying sense data proves something immaterial.
Stop. Ryan, stop. So when we look out into our universe, right? We look into our world. We look into things and we see, okay, things don't exist and not exist at the same time. That doesn't happen, right? So that would be a contradiction.
That's the law of non-contradiction.
Can you shut up for a second?
Oh, I apologize.
So yes, things don't exist and exist at the same. Things aren't non-existent and existent at the same time. Right, that's what that would be a contradiction, and we say those things don't happen, right? So we're just simply describing a phenomenon. That's all we're really doing. That's what the laws of logic are. It's not that we look in. It's not like we look into a microscope and we see law of logic number 1, excluded middle, logic number 2, identity. We don't see that in a microscope, right?
I have a question.
What's up?
Is math a discovery or a man-made observation?
It's both.
Or a man-made idea.
Is math a discovery or a man-made idea? It's both. We invent math because calculus was invented by Archimedes and it was rediscovered by what's his name, the one with the apple fell on his head, Isaac Newton. They made up calculus. So
you know the Pythagorean theorem, correct? I'm assuming.
The Pythagorean theorem, yeah. I know Pythagorean.
So it means that like every right triangle ever.
We know what the Pythagorean theorem is. You got to move on past this, bro. We know what it is.
Not trying to be disrespectful, but that means it's not a human invention because it's throughout the universe. So let me continue. The Pythagorean theorem is a discovery, right? Every triangle, no matter from a human observation or not, the Pythagorean theorem exists, right? B squared plus C squared equals C squared. Right? Assuming, therefore, showing that it transcends material. It transcends the observer, right?
Who made triangles?
It transcends a self.
Who created triangles?
Triangles just exist, right?
Triangles just exist?
According to you, triangles just exist, right?
That's not according to me. I'm asking you, who created triangles? What made triangles?
Well, God created everything, but triangles themselves is a shape.
You need to actually prove God. All right. So do shapes exist physically, or do shapes exist in some other universe, or did we make shapes?
We didn't make shapes. Shapes exist.
Yeah. So okay. So shapes. We know shapes exist. What I'm asking is the thing about 3 lines going like this. Who made that? Did we make it up, or did it always exist eternally?
It always existed.
Okay. How do you know that? Because this is not.
How do I know that? Because it's immaterial. Because through your own sense data, through your taste, through your ears, through your mouth, right, through your nose, through your eyes, you don't see triangles, right? It's immaterial. Just like you don't see logic, you don't see morality. These things transcend, right?
Right.
Just like you don't see time and space.
I get it. With these things, well, space time works differently depending on your gravity.
Yes.
But when it comes to,
it's an immaterial reality.
I understand that these things are immaterial, but do they exist somewhere?
Okay, but does space and time?
Space-time exists. Space-time exists. It's a measurement. So, but when it comes to triangles,
space and time exists. When it comes to
space-time is a measurement.
To break it to you.
Space-time is a measurement.
Space and time is not a measurement.
Space-time is a measurement.
Space and time is a reality.
Okay.
It is though.
So
it is a measurement.
It is a measurement because your clocks are different.
Can you Google that, please?
Space-time. When you're a time dilation, correct?
Yeah, I know what time dilation is.
There you go. So when we're talking about things like shapes, when you say that they always existed, how exactly do you ascertain that? Do shapes exist in some other universe?
Let me propose you the question.
Ryan, no.
How do shapes exist?
Do shapes exist in some other universe? That's all I'm asking you. Do shapes exist in some other reality that we don't know about?
What? What type of bro? What?
Can you hand me a triangle?
Can I hand you a triangle? No, it's immaterial.
Right,
like I'm
exactly.
saying.
So they don't exist. At least
So,
not material.
You're saying wait. You're saying nothing outside of the material world exists, right?
No, numbers
Is
don't
that your
exist.
claim? Numbers don't exist.
They don't exist.
So if I have seven coconuts, the relationship between that coconuts, are they 7?
No.
So you're conceding. You're a pure materialist. So therefore, you can't even interact with the external world.
Yes, I can.
Does your
Because it's material,
because
isn't it?
wait, can I
This hat is
can I
material,
finish
isn't it?
without interrupting?
No. The hat I'm holding is material,
Oh,
isn't
so
it?
you're just gonna interrupt me? You
Yes,
didn't
I
let me
am.
finish.
Yeah, I am because you've been interrupting me this
Host and
entire time.
mod,
So
the host and I can interrupt because I'm a mod and the host is the host, so we can interrupt at any time.
yeah.
And
So
interject.
so you can't
Well, that's a
hand me the
very
number.
great conversation.
You can't hand me the number one. Just like you can't hand me triangles because they don't exist. They don't exist physically, do they?
Exactly, they're
Okay.
immaterial, but we've
Correct. So
discovered things about them
All right,
that
great.
shows
So
that they
does
exist.
okay, so how do they exist? Where do they exist at?
They're immaterial. That proves
So
my
if they're
point.
immaterial, how do they exist?
How does exactly? I'm asking you as well.
What is
How do you
existence in
know
your
that when you
opinion?
touch something,
What is
that it's
existence?
not?
What is existence in your opinion? Does it take up time, space?
What is existence?
Yeah, in your opinion, what
Existence
is it?
can be an abstract concept that's shown outside of time and space. But to
What
you,
does
a
outside of time?
materialist,
Hold on, Ryan.
I'm saying
What does outside
something
of time and space mean? What does that mean?
because that
The fifth
actually proves
dimension?
our point. Because so something outside of time and space does not exist. So that actually goes to prove
That is
our
supposed to
point.
That's
also our
untrue
point.
because the Big Bang, according to you, the Big Bang created time and space. So there was a before the Big Bang.
The
No.
Big Bang. The Big Bang is simply an expansion of space time from the hot dense state.
It did not create time and space. So
Oh,
that is
can we-
so
Yo,
yeah.
all the chat, fact check this. Google this.
No.
They don't even know
Ryan,
that the Big Bang created time and space.
Ryan,
Oh my
that's not what I
God.
said.
Yo,
is
this
it?
looks so bad.
expanded.
Oh my God, this looks so bad for you.
Ryan,
The Big Bang created time and space, buddy.
Ryan, because I think you're 16 and not 18. So Ryan, I said that the Big Bang was an expansion of space time. That's what I said.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Can you Google that on
Yeah,
the
sure.
stream?
Yeah, sure.
Look how bad you look.
We'll Google that. Was the Big Bang an expansion of space time?
Can you put on the big screen, Fossey?
Yes, the Big Bang is best described as a rapid expansion and stretching of space-time itself, rather than an explosion. Oh, hey, shut the fuck up, Ryan.
I just Googled.
Yes, the Big Bang is best described as the rapid expansion and stretching of space-time itself.
Do you think space-time existed before the Big Bang?
I don't know, because our concept of time and space break down at the Big Bang.
No, the Big Bang created space and time.
Ryan. Yes, Ryan. You understand that our understanding of space-time, it actually stops at t-1, right? Our understanding of it, space-time, it stops at t-1. We don't know what the hot dense state was. You understand that, right?
Yo, can you please Google?
All right, your time is up. Fuck you and your Google. All right, no more kids. We're gonna move on to Z. Z, how's it going?
Because I don't believe that was an adult at all.
I think that was a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
All right, Z, how's it going? Did you want to talk about number 1 or number 2?
I'd like to talk about number 2, man.
All right, y'all. I'm not gonna take any more number 2s. All right, we're gonna talk about number 1. I don't want this to be another God thing. All right, so
okay.
give me a second. All right, Mr. Barack, number 1 or number 2? Hey Z, you can stay up. I'm just asking Mr. Baca.
It's funny. We have not had anyone address number 1 yet.
At all. Yeah.
Child.
All right,
So
Mr. Baca, number 1 or number 2?
Do you? I want to say 2 and 1.
All right, all right. So both of them. All right, you're gonna talk about number 1 because I'm trying to talk about number 2. All right, Z, we're gonna go on number 2. What did you want to talk about? Why do you think I should believe in a God?
Yeah, I'm a proponent of fine tuning. So I believe that the constants that we have are evidence for theism. If you want, I can lay out a bit further.
Fine tuning doesn't imply God at all. It just says what our universe does. That it doesn't say that that a God exists.
Maybe I can just lay out how I see it, and we can take it from there. I would just say that the constants that we have fall in a life permitting range. And given theism, we would expect that. But given some naturalistic hypotheses, we don't really see any reason to expect that.
Yeah, we do.
And in virtue of this,
why would we not? Hold on. Why would we not expect that under natural processes? Why would we not expect that?
Yeah, we would just say that the sample space just consists of all like epistemically possible ways the constants could be.
Wait, hold on, Baka. That doesn't actually answer my question. You simply said that the way that we see the constraints in our universe. Hold on. What my question was, when we look at the constraints of our universe, the time, the fine tuning, we would say, the constraints we see in our universe, you're simply saying that we wouldn't expect to see that under natural causes. The question is, why not? Because that seems to happen all the time under natural causes. So why wouldn't we see it?
Yeah. By the way, I'm not saying that we wouldn't see, I'm just saying it's less likely than
How do you know that?
I know. Yeah, okay. The reason I say that is just because obviously the sample space just consists of all epistemically possible ways the constants could have been. And an equal probability assignment is assigned to all members of the sample space, given like there's no reason to, appreciate one over another. And obviously naturalism doesn't tell us anything about like which ranges are appreciated. So we just wouldn't make any statements about like basically the distribution of probability values. And then you would just reach a conclusion like all members of the sample space have an equal probability. And given that the sample space is like vastly large, just means that all members will have a really low probability value.
All right, Z, I think you think you answered my question, but you actually didn't. You understand that probability compares two things, right? So we only have this universe to look at. You can't compare it to another one. So when you said that the probability is likely low, what is it that you should compare it to? We only have one sample size, which is this universe.
Yeah, I mean that would just be taking like a frequentist interpretation of probability, which like we don't see any reason to take, given that like it's basically never assumed when discussing like scientific theories.
Bro, what?
You can take like any other view of probability.
Oh,
like,
wait. What? Hold on, Z. Don't just ramble on. I don't understand I don't know what the hell you're talking about, bro. We only have one sample size, which is our universe. So when you said the probability is low, how exactly did you do that with a sample size of 1?
Yeah, that what you're saying now is assuming a frequentist interpretation of probability, which I
don't know what the fuck that means. How did you come up with a probability when we have an example of 1? This is the only universe we have. So what are you comparing it to say that this is not a natural universe and therefore it's what did you do? Because when it comes to like, let me give you an example, right? When it comes to a silk rose, right? We know what a silk rose is and we know what a natural rose is. How do we know what a silk rose is and a natural rose? Because like the natural rose would have metal thorns and a silk rose would have a thorn made out of wood. A natural rose would have plant cells, and a silk rose we look into a microscope, we see silk pieces, right? That's what we see. The universe only has one sample. This is it. This is all we have, right? So when you're making a probability, you need to compare it to something else, but we have nothing else to compare it to. So how did you come to the determination that this one is not natural, and there's another natural one out there that exists? What did you do exactly?
Yeah, we would just take a non-frequentist interpretation of probability, such that we can make probability assignments, given that there is only like one observed case.
What does that mean?
It just means we would think of probability statements as meaning something else. Like when you say that, like,
oh, so we make shit up?
I mean, no, we just take a different interpretation. If you want to say that taking a different interpretation is making shit up, then you could.
When you say you take a different interpretation of an entire field of mathematics.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. And,
okay,
I mean, the interpretation that you're taking is like really controversial, and it's like basically never assumed given scientific theories.
What do you mean never assumed? In probability, you compare things, don't you?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so if we have one universe, what are you comparing it to?
Okay, that's just equivocation.
No, this is a real question. If you have one universe, what are you comparing it to?
Do you realize? Okay,
you're about to run into 740. By the way,
that question is just eritatively unsound, because you said that in probability.
What do you mean it's unsound? You already agree with me that
Awesome.
in probability we compare things. If we have one universe, what are you comparing it to?
Yeah, so the question is arithmetically unsound because the principle I agree to is just that there exists some x, just that x is a member of the probability field, and x is compared with probability.
Okay, so X is in the probability field. What else is in the field?
Well, Jordan blocks are in the field, Jordan measures are in the field, homology series are in the field.
I don't know what any of these things mean, bro. I'm being honest. I have no idea what these things mean.
We'll just say this basically. There exists views of probability that don't assume frequentist interpretations. Like, for example,
what the hell is frequentist interpretation? What does that mean, bro? I don't know what any of this means, bro.
Okay, I'll just tell you what it means. It means that, let's say the probability of like rolling a 2 on a dice is like 1 out of 6. You could take the interpretation that means like if you roll a dice 6 times, you'll land on a 2 once. You could take that interpretation, which is the one you're assuming, or you could take an interpretation that says like, we have a 1 in 6 credence of believing that the dice lands on 2.
Yeah,
so
that's
interpretation.
That second one is my interpretation. We have a 1 in 6 chance. But what I'm saying is that again, you're still comparing because you have a 2, and on the other side you have a 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? And a 1. Unless you have a 1 and 2 2s, and then a 3, 4, 5, and 6, then your probability of landing on a 2 is a bit higher, isn't it? Because you have multiple 2s. Or if you have a 6-sided die and you have 3 2s, then landing on a 2 gets even higher. But again, in this situation, we're still comparing something. We have 1 die, but we have 6 sides. So you're still comparing that 2 to the other 6 sides. Right now, what we're saying is that when it comes to the universe, right, you don't even have a 6-sided die. You just have a flat disk that says 1. That's all you have. So what are we comparing it to? Unless you're saying that we can see the other side of the disk, right now we can't.
I mean, just earlier you agreed that you take a credence interpretation of probability, and given that the fine-tuned argument would just proceed as it usually does, and your your objection just wouldn't bear any teeth. It just wouldn't affect the argument at all.
No, the objection does bear the argument because again, you came up with the analogy of a 6-sided die. You're comparing the sides of the die. That's what I'm saying. That's how you can make probability, because you're comparing the size of the die. If you have if you have a 6-sided die that's 1 through 6, then yeah, you have a 1 out of 6 chance of landing on a 2. But if 2 of the sides of the die have a number 2 on it, or 3 of the sides of the die have a number 2 on it, now you have a higher chance of landing on a 2. But again, you're comparing the sides. In the universe, there are no other sides. You just have 1.
Well, no, the sides would just be the sample space. I think you just.
I got you, but you don't have another sample space. That's what I'm saying. You don't have another sample space. You only have one sample space. The universe is your only sample space. You don't have another one. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
You only have one sample space, but the sample space consists of all epistemically possible constants, like constant assignments.
What? All what?
Yes.
All epistemically possible constant assignments.
What does that mean?
All values that the constants could have taken epistemically.
All the values the constants could have taken. Yeah, exactly. So when we look at all the values, hold on, wait. When we look at the constants of the universe, right? And there's been mathematical models that look at other constants that still come up with stable universes. You know that?
I mean, yeah. Then they would just fall into the range.
Exactly. So again, so when you say that this shows theism, it doesn't.
So what premise does that defeat? You're saying that there could be some
that defeats your entire argument. You're saying that the fine tuning. You're saying that fine tuning implies theism. But if you're already saying that there are other models that show that other constants can still come up with stable universes, that doesn't show theism. That just shows that
this is just not what I'm saying.
All right, man.
I wouldn't say it's an implication because.
All right, cool. Mr. Baca, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here soon. You got the last 5 minutes. What's up? Actually, let me add Sylvester to the stage. Sylvester, how's it going? You're gonna be on the stage as well. How's it going, Sylvester? Are you over 18 and number 1 or number 2?
Number 1, and I am 34. So yeah.
All right, number 1. All right. What about you, Mr. Baca?
Okay. You were saying what, leftist?
Yeah, leftist policies are better for society. Do you want to know why I say that?
Yeah, I do actually.
All right, leftist policies are better for society because they uplift more of our human conditions, and they address material conditions. They address like the life that we live. And not only that, it doesn't put so much emphasis on simply making money, on putting profit over people. So the policies that I would support, typically which are leftist in America, but are simply normal everywhere else, are things such as single payer health care, wages tied to your area and the cost of living, guaranteed housing programs, addressing homelessness, addressing the climate crisis, things like that. All these things address our material conditions specifically, and they make society easier to live and make it better. And because of that, you'll have a more productive workforce if they're healthier, if they don't have to worry about their kids not learning anything at school, if we stay away from constant wars overseas. These are the things that the left these are the things that we advocate for, especially in the United States, and I think they make our society better. Why would these things be bad, in your opinion?
Oh wow, that's well said. That's well said. Now I don't think those things are bad. Actually, that's very great. I'm glad I never heard nobody explain it to me like that. You know, that's very good. I actually agree with all that. That's good. All that stuff's good. That's great actually. Wow, that was good.
Okay.
But I'm a pivot. I'm a pivot a little bit. I'm a pivot because obviously I seen you. You're a black man, so we're gonna talk black for a moment. If that's okay with everybody. You know,
Sure. Sure thing.
So look, my thing is, I don't know. I can't really pinpoint where it happened at or something, but it was something where they kind of used our momentum against us. If you feeling me, like they seen that we were fighting and they kind of used it to kind of, I don't know, like kill our momentum. Because if you ask me personally, I feel like as black people, there's not a lot we can be proud of. For me, we haven't done that lately. Like what we're doing is like we're after like the Martin Luther King and stuff. Like we're our next leaders. What's going on? What we doing? Look at our culture now. It's like fighting. It's black on black violence. It's, you know what I'm saying. I feel like it was somewhere where it's not like I feel like
it's not like it was before. I got you. Not like it was before, where the CIA kind of won. I understand that. Now, here's a few things that I would say.
Okay.
Here's a few things that I would say. Right, when it comes to one of the big famous issues within the black community is the gender issue. Right, when it comes to that, that's been around for a while. I don't know if you ever seen that video with James Baldwin and I forgot who he was talking to. He was talking to another woman. If you watch that video, you'll see that the things that they're talking about in that video are the same thing black women and black men talk about
Nikki
today.
Giovanni is who he was talking to.
Nikki Giovanni, yeah.
Okay.
Nikki Giovanni.
Yeah. So if you look at that video, you'll see that it's all the same subject, right? So, and I think the reason why that is, why we haven't moved on. Now, of course, a lot of that has to do with, our material conditions, essentially. It has to do with, us living within white supremacy, us living within patriarchy. Of course, that's going to happen, right? We're going to have those gendered issues. That's the only reason why we haven't moved on yet, which is why I move on to, I think what the conversation needs to move on to is not the issues that we have in between each other. We all know the issues we have to be between each other. We need to move on to solutions. How do us as black men, how do we be better to our black women? Yes, we're under the system of white supremacy and patriarchy, but there are ways that we can protect our women and be egalitarian leaders in our community. How do we move on to, a force of men lead the household, blase, and more egalitarian leadership? Because we all know that a lot of these niggas can't lead, bro. You and I both know that.
Sure.
A lot of them can't be leaders. Keeping it real. A lot of women are way better leaders than men. So we might as well just be egalitarian. What are ways we can talk to each other and figure that part out? You feel me?
Hey, explain that to me. Egalitarian, give me that.
Egalitarian just basically means equal power sharing.
Oh, okay.
Basically, we're not having all, because if you really look at it, we kind of live that way kind of anyway, because whenever the house was dirty and your pops came home, what exactly did he say? Y'all better clean this up before y'all mama come.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so we're kind of already like that. It's just that as a social system, we don't do that. We do that in our houses, but we don't do that as a social system within black people. So that's what we need to do. We need to do that as a social system. Come together and say, you know what? We messed up. Us as black men, there are some ways where we failed. Are there ways that black women failed? Let's take a look at that and say, you know what? Let's come together and fix this issue. Not just blame each other and
But
Good
also,
point. Yeah,
there's other things that have to be addressed.
Of course, other things have to be addressed. Misogyny got to be addressed. Sexism got to be addressed.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and all that got to be addressed.
Oh, good. Because look, I was gonna because I really disagree with you on the number what's that, the number 2,
Oh,
but I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to go there because, like I said, you I like the way you was handling it. Like, cause I was listening. I think you was live yesterday. I think I was listening yesterday too, and I like how you got this set up. So I said I was going to join, but I like today, like you know how I went when they, you know, I just was like that. Let me switch that. Let me pivot. You know,
Gotcha.
Because I'm actually
I appreciate. Hey, Sylvester, I'm really sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
I do want to talk to you more, but come back tomorrow because wifey's gonna kill me if we don't go out right now. All right,
hey, what time?
She's already ready. I was supposed to get up at 7:45. I'm 2 minutes over. She's already ready.
No, I'm talking about tomorrow. Tomorrow, what time?
Oh, tomorrow same time, 6:30.
Okay, bet. Hey, y'all enjoy yourselves, man. It was great, man.
You too. I appreciate you. We'll definitely talk again. All right.
But, I mean, by the way, be sure to tell Wifey that I saw her on the camera and say body. Michaela said body tea.
Body is tea. Yeah. All right. Hey, Mr. Baca, drop me a follow. I do apologize. We didn't get to talk now. We'll talk tomorrow. All right, Mr. Baca, drop me a follow. 6:30, guys. I'll be back. Anyone who couldn't talk to me now, we'll talk tomorrow. Okay. Y'all remember to follow Kay. Shout out to Kay.
I'm like, every time I see her, I can't help but hype her up. She is so pretty.
Yeah, she is. Matter of fact, hold on. Hey, babe, come here. Yeah, they want to see you. I'm about to get off now. They just want to see you. They want to see what you're wearing. Yeah, she's wearing this like really cute orange thing. I love it. I think she got it from Rainbow.
I saw some of it in the before where she was walking.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, body tea.
Yeah.
Period.
Here she is. Hey, yeah. I see her. She locking her hair up too and everything.
Body tea, sis.
Face tea and body tea. Yeah, all the thickness. All the thickness. Face tea and the body tea. You know what I'm saying? Look at my wife haul. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here.
Don't stop embarrassing this lady.
All right, y'all. I am gonna get out of here. I appreciate y'all for being here. I do apologize. We didn't get a chance to talk all the way, but we're gonna go ahead and go out right now. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Always remember to be secure, be affectionate, be wise, be flexible, be trustworthy. Appreciate y'all.